Oh, all right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Fly on the Wall podcast. I am Justin, and today we are speaking with JW Riggs from This Podcast is Rigged. We're having a crossover episode. It's like a sitcom.
Yeah.
We're having a crossover episode. Urkel's going to show up, and it's going to be awesome. So, how you doing, JW?
Doing pretty good. I'm so excited for this. I think this has been in the making for a few months now. So
We do a lot of talking online. We play games, and we're like, oh, we should totally do it. And I was like, we just need to do it. And you're like, all right, we can do that. So yeah, here we are. So before we get started, I have a sponsor. It's a great sponsor. I'm wearing the shirt again. I should have wore the other one. I've got the Mona Lisa one that says Donut Punk right over the faces or over her eyes. And it's really cool. And it's too hot for the beanie. So here is Donut Punk. We're proud to have this podcast sponsored by Donut Punk Apparel. If you, like me, are into fun, colorful 90s nostalgic apparel, then you've got to check out Donut Punk at donutpunk.com. I love the shirts. I saw the brand on TikTok and it's just blowing up there. It seems like everybody there is wearing them. So I ordered one and now I'm part of the cool kids and you can be too. There's a new Jurassic Park inspired shirt that just dropped about a week and a half ago. And you've got to check that one out. It's really cool looking, a little bit of a tie-dye effect. And it's my favorite design so far. So I have to get that shirt too. Donut Punk is nostalgically baked apparel that you can find now at donutpunk.com. One more time, that's donutpunk.com. And this is the obligatory.
Hey guys, come on down to Spirit Halloween.
No. Why?
You're on my soundboard. It's been a thing since you sent that video. So okay, here's some background. So JW plays games with myself and a couple other guys. Shane Hartline, who was on yesterday, and I'm going to keep the mystery guest until he's on. And so JW shares this video. During the summer, he had a job working at Spirit Halloween, and very excited to wear the hot dog costume. So we got a video of JW like doing this massive shout out about Spirit Halloween in a hot dog costume, and it's one of the best things I've seen in so long. So now I've got this clip.
Hey guys, come on down to Spirit Halloween.
And whenever the group is like in a crummy mood or whatever, I play that and everybody's like, yeah, okay. So yeah, so this is JW. This is the face behind my little clip. Oh,
wait, have you played the clip before on the podcast?
Nope, this is the first time. This is the debut. It was saved for you. I'm gonna turn that off. I got a little bit of a Joker background going on today. So let's talk about you a little bit. All right, how old are you?
17.
17 years old. You have a podcast. How long have you been doing your podcast?
Let's see. It's going to be a year in June.
So you started what, when you were at like just turned 16, or you were 15?
16.
At 16 years old, what made you want to start a podcast of all things, aside video games and everything else aside? What made you want to start a podcast? What was like, this is what I should do?
Let's see. I tried a Twitch, that tanked. I tried YouTube, that went okay, not the greatest though. So I was like, okay, well, we're in quarantine. We have nothing else to do. Everybody's stuck in their house. Families need something to listen to. Why don't I just make a podcast and see if anybody actually wants to be a guest, and if they don't, I'll just do it by myself. So I started to reach out to some like smaller comedians and stuff, and some bigger comedians, and just like actors and directors and stuff, and people actually started to it really surprised me, but people actually started to reply. And 1 second, please, let me take a drink.
Yeah, you're good.
people actually started to reply, and so most of them said yes. And then I also started to get like some friends that are into movies and television, and talk to them on the podcast. So it's just like a family friendly thing because last year I feel like families really needed that. So just kind of something you don't see much of anymore.
No, as far as like clean entertainment, there's not a lot of it. You know,
Right.
there's always got to have that little undertone of, where things get real dirty or it gets vulgar or so on and so forth. And so I listened to your podcast and I was like, first of all, I couldn't believe you were 16, and second of all, to start a project like that, it's aggressive, you know. And a lot of people will say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you did it, and you're up to what, episode 50 or 51?
I have some that I need to upload that I haven't yet, but for produced episodes we're probably to about 55, I would say, but for actually like published episodes I would say 51.
That's absolutely awesome. So aside from your podcast, what is it that you like to do? I personally know you, but nobody listening knows you. So what is it that you personally like to do? Like, do you have any hobbies? Is movies, music? What is it?
I love movies, like so if any of my listeners are listening, I'll share this and stuff. Uh just I love movies, I love television. Some of my favorite movies are like Star Wars and some Mel Brooks movies, just like really like I love like action and then really stupid movies. So
I love the really stupid movies. Like, they hold a special place in my heart. So yeah, any Mel Brooks movies. When Leslie Nielsen was alive, those were fantastic. Do you have a favorite, like, quote unquote stupid movie? We'll just call it slapstick.
that's a rough one.
Yeah,
Um
I know. I know. I put you on the spot. I know you wanted notes for this, and I was like, no, no notes. We're just going to talk about you. And I knew that this was going to be a hard question for you. I was like, I'm going to ask him what his favorite Goofy movie is.
the Goofy movie, no. um Probably Spaceballs.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's right up there with me too. It's
Uh,
classic. It doesn't die out ever.
yeah, pretty much anything with Dom DeLuise. So
That man was a legend. And I think the first time I saw him he was Captain Chaos
and Cannonball Run.
in Cannonball Run. And I was like, that was like my favorite character in that entire movie. Aside from the car. I'll call the car a character. But yeah, Captain Chaos was amazing. Dom DeLuise was amazing. And I wish he was here. It'd be interesting to see what he would be doing later in his life. That would be just as absurd.
Yeah.
You know what I wish they would kind of remake? Not Cannonball, because it would be all, I think it would be too much. But they need to remake the Revenge of the Nerds movies.
Haven't seen them.
What?
I have not seen Revenge of the
No.
Nerds, to be honest.
Between you and our friend online, you guys are aliens. No, really. Okay, this is your assignment, because I know you're at home doing school. You need to watch Revenge of the Nerds, because they're fantastic. They're so good. They're so 80s, and they're so cringy to watch now. You need to be exposed to that. And I don't think it's dirty. So yeah, you'll be good to go.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try them out. I'll watch it. I'll try.
So
Maybe too stupid for me. Maybe they're too stupid. I don't know. Like the American Pie
No.
movies are too stupid.
no,
So
the nerds movies are endearing, because it's always it's kind of like the underdog story, and it's always the nerds that are getting picked on. And back in the 80s, this is back in the 1900s. in the 1900s, we had classes of people, and if you were called a nerd, that was a bad thing. So these movies started coming out, giving nerds a good name. And there were skaters, and there were punks, and there were jocks, and that's how the world was labeled back in the 80s. So when nerds came out, Revenge of the Nerds came out, it was like, I get these people. Because there hadn't really been a movie like that for, the awkward teen or anything. I think you'd have fun with them, so you need to watch them. So aside from your podcast, well, actually, let's hit back on your podcast.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite guest that you've spoken to?
Oh, that's like
Dear, this podcast is rigged listeners. This is nothing against JW. Here, I'll share mine. Right. Okay. All right. So I just started, and an acquaintance of mine, Dave Hill, he's a comedian and actor. He's got a whole list of things that he does. He's so multifaceted. I've been following this man online on social media for 14 years. I'm genuinely a fan of his. So when he was like, I'll do your podcast, I was like, what? I was blown away. And that was probably the most awkward recording session that I had. I called him a magician, not a musician. I mislabeled his show. I was nervous. I was like, all right. And people were like, well, edit it out. I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave it all in there. But probably my favorite guest so far. So that'll change over time. Do you have any recent guests that really stand out to you?
Okay, so to me, this is kind of like picking like your favorite, I guess, this is like your favorite child type of thing. So,
everybody has their favorite child.
I wouldn't say
this is another inside. If you ever become a parent, I'm sorry, parents. You have that favorite child. You don't want to say that you do, but it happens. I'm just saying. It's okay. Everybody else is doing it. Who really stands out in like the front of your head? Like if you were to talk about or like pitch your podcast, who like boom comes to the forefront of your mind?
So if you don't mind, I'm gonna pull up a little list of people.
Oh, he's flexing on me.
Oh, they just changed Spotify on me. So I'm looking at Spotify. Yeah, I was trying to find a list of people, and Spotify's all different now.
He's trying to flex on me now. Hold on, let me get my list of people I've had on my podcast.
I had to play with the buttons.
So of course,
guys, come on down to Spirit Halloween.
What I was going to say is some of my favorite guests, honestly, Bob Bergen, the voice of Porky Pig.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's awesome, really nice guy. We just talked about Looney Tunes for like an hour, so that's awesome. And then my really good friend Brad Montague is probably my all-time favorite guest, as we just talked for like close to an hour, if not an hour, just about literally comedy, just pretty much anything. So because for those of you that don't know, if you don't mind me explaining a little bit.
No, go ahead.
Brad Montague is a online creator, and he also does some Christian comedy. So, but he's an online creator who's been making YouTube videos and stuff for like 15 years now. So, and then about 8 or 9 years ago, him and his little brother-in-law, Robbie, decided to make YouTube videos and about kid president, so that's how the kid president video became a thing and everything. So yeah, it's just stuff like that, and then just basically people that I have really good conversations with that like just kind of bounce off, like my personalities bounce off of their personalities type thing. So like another one, Adam.
You can't even say the full name. Everybody, we have a mutual friend. His name is Adam.
But no, Adam Wiley is another one. So definitely great guest. And then just like the country star Travis Howard and the ventriloquist. So that's just a few of my favorites. So
That's awesome. It's always hard to put it that way because I'm finding that you spend like an hour or so with somebody and you build a little bit of a rapport and a relationship with that person, and it's really hard to put, like who's my favorite. So yeah, I was kind of putting the pressure on you a little bit, but you didn't collapse. You gave me a perfect answer, so you win. One point to JW, everybody.
But on with that, I say definitely go check out, for those of you, if you haven't already checked them out, go check out Montague Workshop. It's just great YouTube videos and stuff. It's inspirational, and some of them are funny. And so, yeah, go check
And
it out.
family friendly, I'm assuming.
Yes, family friendly. Completely.
I try to keep it clean on here. Sometimes it gets a little slippy, but I try to keep it clean, good and positive, so that everybody can listen to it, like parents driving their kids to school in the car, and then a nasty word comes out. It's not a good thing.
That's why editing is
Randy
a good thing.
Jackson from American Idol.
What?
Are you gonna have Randy Jackson as your
Randy
guest?
Jackson from American Idol.
Are you gonna have Randy Jackson as your guest? Or?
No. I don't know what I'd say to Randy Jackson.
No.
There's millions of people out there, and you probably do the same thing I do. You scroll through and you're like, could I speak to this person? And you're like, these people are really, they're popular or whatever the case may be. And then you're like, mentally, could I have a conversation with this person? And there's some people out there, you're like, wow, it'd be really cool for them to be on. And then you're like, what kind of conversation would I have? So with you, when you're preparing for one of your podcasts, do you have a list? Do you have a list of questions you've made, or are you just a never-ending fountain of trivia and knowledge? And what's your process behind that? So we're going to take a little sidebar here, and we're going to talk about how your interview process works. So mine is very conversational, and while I do a little bit of research on the person to make sure I've got the right person in my mind when I start, I don't write any questions down or anything. Like, I seriously just want to know how you got started and why you're doing it. So with you, what do you do?
Just kind of in the middle of what you were saying, to where I have a lot of knowledge of like trivia and stuff like that, but also just a mix of, I look up, like, even after the fact of asking them on the podcast, I look them up and like see like kind of other interviews, and of course not copy those interviews, but at the same time kind of rephrase some of the stuff that was said in there, and just go off of other stuff. And then I have like kind of like a little template of questions I go off of. Like, let's say I'm talking to a voice actor, and I would say, so what's your favorite show? Excuse me.
You are choking to death. Don't die on my show, JW.
No, please, I don't want that. So it would be like, so let's say I'm talking to Bob Bergen. So what's your favorite show to work on, or what's your favorite character to play? Stuff like that. So just kind of have like a little template of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just kind of it. So
Okay. Well, I mean that makes sense. So it's been a very long time since I was in high school, and I was like on the school paper and stuff like that, and it was always like who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I hate that. But I mean, sometimes it'll still click in my head, like, okay, I should probably ask who they are and what they do and how they got started and when and how, but as far as it goes, I just try to have a very stumbly, sometimes awkward conversation. And then hopefully it all works out. And the thing I'm doing with my podcast is that I'm not really editing out my bloopers, so if I call you a magician and you play guitar, I'm going to leave it in there because it's hilarious, especially when you look back on it after you've been honing your craft after, say your 100th interview. You can look back and go, wow, that's where I started. And so I want that progression. I want it documented, and I want to be able to see what I've done and where I've been.
that makes a lot of sense. That I think
it's slightly humiliating, but I kind of look at it like this too. So my issues are when I do concert photography, I have no clue what to say to any of the artists, but hello. Like usually I'll have a pass around my neck and I'll be like, hey, I don't have anything else after that. Nothing. I've met people I've never said anything to. And the ones that I did click with, it's because they were just as awkward as I was. So, so your reasoning for starting your podcast is essentially the same thing why I started mine. Are you choking to death again?
Because of the 7-Up.
My Lord. So
Okay.
it allows me to be uncomfortable and allows me to get out of my JW left.
No, JW.
Hey guys, come on down to Spirit Halloween.
I apologize. Go ahead. I was still listening.
Randy Jackson from American Idol.
I'd play other stuff, but it's swearing. I put a bunch of swear words on my stream deck. Mainly for when we're playing games at night and I play with my stream deck and it makes Bobby mad. Yeah, Bobby gets irritated when I play with my toys. So I think it's hilarious because I'm a child. So we were talking about I started my podcast it was just a few months after you and I started for a couple of reasons. One, to talk to interesting people because our mutual friend, Adam, shares a ton of exciting, funny stories. And I'm like, either this needs to be like in a book or it needs to be shared. Like he needs to share these stories because they're hilarious. When he comes on and he's like, I'm like, what are you eating, man? He's like, oh, almonds and gummy bears. I'm like, okay, where'd you get those? He's like, craft services. I'm like, so weird. And this is like it's like a therapy session sort of for me, or it's like a confidence builder. So I don't typically like to talk to people. Like it's not my thing to do. So when the pandemic hit and they were like, you have to be quarantined and you have to stay inside, I was like, oh, thank God. I could just be me and nobody's going to talk trash about me. But I realize the older I get, I'm 44 now, I need to step out of that comfort zone and I need to learn to speak to people. So I think what's cool is that at your age, a whopping 17 years old, you're doing a great job at that. Were you shy when you started?
So if any of my listeners are listening to this, which possibly is, I'll share this and everything. For anybody that's known me before the podcast, I've always been pretty outgoing and I could be shy occasionally. Like when I'm in a new place, I could definitely be shy. But it's definitely. Are you okay?
Oh, this is awful. This is not sponsored. That's terrible. This is a super sour green apple, and it was not going well. It was real bad.
So where was? Oh yeah. So
I was interrupting you. Sorry.
I've never been a really shy kid. Just like when I'm in a new place sometimes. So just I was kind of shy with this, like getting to meet people that like I've watched like on television my entire life. But I mean, yeah,
Well, what I think people don't realize, like, we speak to a lot of voice actors, and it's like getting to learn to know these people. And so like the first time I was playing online with Adam, I was nervous. I was like, this is Adam. This is Adam Wiley. This is that kid that was in Picket Fences. This is the kid from Kindergarten Cop. And what people don't seem to realize is that all of these people, they have a certain set of talents, but they're people.
they're human.
They're human. It's not like an unattainable goal to get to where they're at. You just have to work hard at it. So it took me a little while to get comfortable talking, like to Adam and a few other people. But it's never too late to get into something that you enjoy, or too early. Dude, there's this kid on TikTok. He's probably 13. And I think when he started recording his interviews, like it was just him and a cell phone. Right. So I think he was maybe 9, and I'm just spitballing the age, but he would go meet, like the voice of Shaggy. He was also in Scream.
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his name, but you're great with names. I'm not. And he'd just have a conversation and interview back and forth with him. And so the proof is that you can do whatever you put your mind to, right?
Right.
If you were to be inspirational about it, you can do anything that you want. You just have to put your mind to it. You have to do it though. And the hardest thing to get started is to get started. So what was the hardest thing for you to get started? When your brain said, I want to interview people, what was the hardest part about that?
Reaching out to the people. Just kind of.
It's hard to not sound, by the way, anybody that's listening, if I sent you a message and it sounded creepy, like I'm trying to figure out like my skills on just reaching out, right? It's, hey, dear so and so, my name is blah blah blah, and I have a podcast. I mean, it's evolved a little bit, but not much. And it just sounds like you're a stalker.
Okay.
Reaching out to them a little bit.
As long as it's not like you will be on the podcast, I will force you to be on the podcast type of thing. So
I was thinking that next week when you're at Starbucks getting your first coffee of the day, that we could just meet up outside. Where you pick up the newspaper? Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. There's people like that out there.
Yeah.
And not really where you live. You live in a pretty decent area.
I live in a decent area of Memphis. Yes.
Memphis is awesome.
Memphis is awesome. People don't always see it to be awesome, but I love it.
It's another one of those scenarios where you get in one place for so long, you get complacent with it, and it loses its luster, so to speak. So like there's things about, like, we moved from South Carolina a year ago, May the 4th, which was yesterday.
May the 4th be with you.
And also with you. This is church people stuff. So a year ago, May 4th, we closed on our house in Utah. And this is where I'm at now. So we've been here for a year. There's some things about the other places that I've lived that I miss. And the problem is that people get jaded where they live. It loses its luster. It's kind of like you get a new toy or a new game, and you've seen it so much or used it so much, it loses its excitement. So it's cool that you're in Memphis. You need to realize there's a lot of talent in Memphis.
Totally.
Like all of my friends that were in bands, they don't live in California anymore. They live in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. They're gone. They're not near me anymore.
Tennessee is a huge place for just entertainment in general. So mainly music, comedy, definitely comedy. So Memphis is actually the birthplace of rock and roll, and just depends on what people say. But I would say professional wrestling, definitely. Let me get my other drink. Oh, I'll be right back. I apologize.
Oh, you're good. JW is hacking up a furball. Oh, hello.
Okay, sorry. You can cut that out if need be.
No,
And be professional with this.
no,
Finest.
this is not professional. This is just fun. So we've talked about at the beginning of your podcast. I made you pinpoint which one of your guests was your favorite. All right, I'm done making you awkward. 17 years old, your podcast is doing really well. I love that you get on at night to play games and you're like, hey, I've got somebody else. And I spoke to so-and-so, you know who's really interesting. And what's funny is that you're not finding like, you know, we kind of do the same thing. We're not finding like the big people. Everybody knows the big names, but what people don't know or know the name of is like the voice actors of your favorite characters that you heard growing up, or you know, people that, you know, there's so much I've learned over the past year about what, like, I've always wondered, I'm like, why do you need $20 million to make a film? Like I have a camera, I could do the same thing. It wouldn't be the same thing, but you know, those Indian films where they try to remake like Iron Man, and they're outrageous and like the cars fly up and they're really poorly done. That's probably what I would do. It'd be a train wreck, but
Might be fun to watch.
they're great. Just look them up. Oh my gosh, they're so funny. But over the past year, I've learned that there's voice actors and there's, you know, there's like orchestras and there's musicians and sometimes magicians, and you know, there's all these people that make the film all come together that I knew nothing about. You know, I've got very limited experience when it comes to being on like a real set where they're actively making a film. So over the past year, I've learned a whole lot, and it's interesting to actually speak. Like, we're not going to get Tom Cruise.
No.
I'm pretty sure they'd send us, you know, stop sending messages or something, or we're not going to get the big artists, you know, like a Jason Aldean or anything like that. You know, we ourselves would have to be massive for that to happen. So,
Right. And so, like, I've reached out to some bigger comedians and stuff. I'm not going to say who.
well, you had Nathan Hurd on.
Right. Nathan Hurd's a pretty big comedian. That one's still, that's an upcoming episode that has not been published yet. But
Never mind. Never mind.
Future.
Spoiler alert.
So now that just reminds me to upload more episodes. But no, definitely just there has been some bigger, I mean, I reach out to pretty much anybody I can. Just kind of a little, I send out kind of similar stuff. Of course, I change it to be a little more like, I mentioned, like, okay, I hate name dropping, but at the same time, sometimes I do name drop, like
your allergies are going to be the death of you today.
Yeah, I apologize for this. I'm trying to be as professional as possible.
No, like I said, this is real. If we screw up, we screw up. And if it's funny while doing it, it's even better.
Yeah.
So if you choke on your orange juice, that'd be hilarious.
Not sponsored, but it's Arizona.
Oh, the mango?
Yes,
you
the mango.
You can't see it. Your background's on.
Yeah. So But no, it's just like I send out similar things, just kind of make it a little more to them. So let's say they've worked with like someone I've had on the podcast before, I would mention that name. Just stuff like that. Um, but with some bigger comedians have reached back out to me, said possibly in the future. But yeah, I'm not gonna say any names. But
So I had an exciting encounter on TikTok yesterday. So I love music, which is why I do like concert photography. But when I was your age or younger, um, new gangster rap was coming out, right? NWA, Salt and Pepper, Easy E. It was when all these people were starting, right? So I was big into NWA because they had an album that my mother hated, and I played that all the time. And then Salt and Pepper came out, and they always had something that was it was kind of there's something about it. So I reached out to JJ Fad yesterday, and she won't add me as a friend. JJ Fad add me as a friend so we could just send messages. So I have to like on their timeline, like, hey, how can I get you on my podcast? And she responded, she's like busy right now, contact later. I'm like, what? She responded, she reads her messages. There's a possibility. So that would be so exciting. That would be super exciting. What was your first moment like that where you're like, holy crap? They responded. They responded, period. Like sometimes a response is all you need because you'll send out like 90 messages and you'll get back 5. It's a horrible percentage rate, but it's true.
I mean, it happens. It's fine though. I mean, the podcast is much bigger than I thought it would be. So.
But who was that one person that responded that you were just like, I can't believe they responded, or I can't believe I'm having this person? Like you genuinely, like your heart drops a little bit. You get a big smile on your face. You're like, holy crap, I can't believe that's happening.
So there's a few different names. Definitely Jason Marsden's probably one of the first ones. That
I reached out to him too, and his schedule is full right now, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely just Jason Marsden, Gary L. Gray, who is he was a child actor, and then he also does voice acting and stuff. But yeah, just basically those two, and then this is weird, but definitely back to Brad Montague. It's just even though I know him personally, we're really good friends because he's kind of hard to reach out to, and like that's someone he was always on like the #1 list on people I would want on the podcast. So that's something that just like I was really excited when I got him on the podcast. And Bill Cott from Wizards of Waverly Place and the Dana Carvey show is definitely another one.
So I jumped in on one of Bill Cott's TikTok lives,
I remember that.
right? And I think the night before you were like, I had a really good day at improv, and because Bill Cott, he teaches improv online, and you've been taking his classes, and so I was like, I wonder what kind of student JW is. And he shared with us a story about you, and that he's like, I don't normally do this, but JW was fantastic. He's such a good kid. So that also goes along with, I had Shane Hartline on yesterday.
Oh no.
He's nice. I don't think he's still claiming to be your father. So I think we're cool with that. But he did say that you are, and I quote, America's sweetheart.
Oh, that's sweet.
So and genuinely, anybody that doesn't know JW, if you're watching this, you're like, who is that guy? Why are you talking to him? He's genuinely an interesting person, and at such a young age, and really one of the sweetest young men I've ever met. I mean, really, our group, and there's like two people in your age group that are okay, and then there's some others that are not. Like they make people angry. So genuinely, you're just a good dude. You're doing great work. Is there anything coming up you want to discuss? I mean, you already gave us a teaser because I dropped the ball on that. My bad.
I excuse me, these allergies are killing me today.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You need to take a Claritin.
These are this is actually my second interview of the day, so it's like
Hold up. What?
I interviewed someone today.
I'm not the first.
I interviewed someone today.
I thought this was special.
I told you when we were playing video games that I had.
I'm playing stupid. It's improv. That's my acting chops right there. This is going on my sizzle reel.
Your IMDb.
My IMDb.
But no, I would definitely just say keep listening to the podcast. Just Fly on the Wall, and then also This Podcast is Rigged. Just I do have some stuff coming up. I'm gonna start talking about small businesses on the podcast. Definitely excited for that. So
I'm not gonna do like a paid product placement.
Right.
Because it's not paid.
Right.
But Miss Moritas hard candy slides has become an addiction within our group of people.
Yes.
But the candy is so good. Did you get any? Did you buy any?
I'm about to get some. I believe it's already shipped out.
Oh, that's awesome. So they're actually sending you some candy.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to create a whole new thing for you because they're just kind of, well, you don't know, but back in the day, back in the 1900s, there you could go into like a store, or even in the South, they still had general stores, right?
Not really.
And yeah, you wouldn't know, but anyway, they did, and they were little mom and pop establishments, and you could go get penny candy and stuff like that. Their candy reminds me a lot like that, only the flavors are more exotic, and it's just a good product. Like if I was in like Cracker Barrel, I would expect to see that like on the shelf.
Yeah.
But the owner is an amazing person, and yeah, you're gonna love that candy, dude. It's amazing.
No, so excited for that. And then just something else I'm really passionate about, something else I really want to talk about. If you don't mind, I'm gonna kind of go on a little not rant.
I've got all the time you need.
1 second, please.
JW's gone.
I'm back. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Nose stuff. Yeah, that sinus crap. So, but yeah, I would just say, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So we've talked about this before, but that's very special to me. So just, I know it's still 4 months away, but I'm trying to get as many people, as many podcast companies, just go gold, because gold is the cancer, is the color for childhood cancer awareness. So go gold in September for childhood cancer awareness. I'm trying to get different companies, different podcasts, just everybody to like turn their logos and stuff gold for the month, and just trying to reach out to more people about having gold merchandise and stuff. So yeah.
Is that something that's really close to you?
Yes, as my brother had cancer. He's in remission now. But
That's fantastic.
but yeah, he had cancer. My best friend, who she passed away because of cancer. So it's just something that's always been special to me. So
All right. Well, I'll be sure to do that. I'm glad you brought that up because, I'm unorganized.
But no,
It happens.
yeah, I'll definitely I'm gonna change my logo to gold probably in August just to get ready for September.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, just stuff like that.
No, inappropriate.
Was that a laugh track?
That was a laugh track. I was trying to change the screen and I hit the wrong button. So now it sounds like I was being completely inappropriate and I wasn't.
Do you have sound? Do you have a soundboard?
I do. Huh?
I need to get one. I need to get a soundboard for the podcast.
Okay, if you don't want to buy one, right? So see, soundboard.
I can't see it.
Yeah, so like this button.
Hey guys, come on down to
That's you, and then of course Shane.
Oh.
But you can through Elgato, you can just download the Stream Deck app and use it on your phone.
That's a fun name, Elgato.
Yes, Elgato. I'm pretty sure it means the cat or something. I failed Spanish, but passed French.
Yeah, it just kind of sounds like that.
Yeah, kind of like, it sounds kind of anime-ish, but it's a good product. Like I said, if you don't want to spend like $150 on a Stream Deck to where you can push a button to make a noise, you can use your phone. And you can download the app and you can program it just as you would like a regular Stream Deck.
You know what? I'm going to check that out. Definitely.
Do it. And if you got questions, ask.
Totally.
Are you on cell phone or do you have a computer?
I'm on my computer currently.
Okay, cool. Are you PC guy or Mac?
PC, not Mac.
So here's my deal. This is my last rant, I think.
I'm iPhone, but not Mac.
Mac's irritating. Yeah, I have an iPhone, which is my webcam. So I'm using that. Elgato has another service that they can do where you can use your cell phone, because most of our cell phones have a better camera on it than like if you were to go buy a $300 webcam.
Right.
So like the iPhone 11 Pro will do 4K if you need to do 4K. And with this, I didn't have to buy another webcam. And I've got regular cameras and stuff, but they were just a pain in the neck. The iPhone I plug it in and it works, period. But my issue with Apple is that I still have an iMac, right? That I bought when I started my photography. That was in 2010, which means it is 12 years old now and unusable because Apple likes to write all of the software and the updates to where it makes everything you own garbage, essentially. So I have a working iMac that I can't really use. I also have like a MacBook from like about the same time period. I can't use. None of it can be updated ever again. So I built my own PC because, I was watching TikTok and apparently you could just slap stuff together and make a PC. So I did.
In under 50 seconds, evidently, too, according to TikTok.
And under 50 seconds, you too can make an entire liquid-filled, liquid-cooled PC that runs in mineral oil.
Yep.
Mine does not. It's normal.
TikTok's interesting. TikTok's very interesting. I think that's a conversation for another time, but definitely.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. This has been Fly on the Wall podcast with JW Riggs from This Podcast is Rigged. We can find you on Instagram at...
Hold on. Let me get that. It's confusing because I have to use underscores and stuff. So hold on. This underscore podcast underscore is underscore rigged. If you look up This Podcast is Rigged, or even if you look up JW Riggs on Spotify and you see the picture of me doing this in front of the Miss Piggy fountain, that is me.
All right. And I'm going to place all the links below. If you're on YouTube right now, all the links are going to be right below. I'm going to do this pretend. Just press here. Press here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Is there a link up here too?
There It might be. Well, you do your side, I'll do my side. Push this button here. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
And there's a video right over here.
Yeah, I was trying to do like post stuff yesterday, and for some reason, YouTube decided to plant like some other ad over the top of my face. I don't know where it came from, but it was just like that. It was over my head, and I was like, I don't know how to get rid of it. And I mean, I figured it out, but it took way longer than it should have. So this podcast today is, what is today? May 5th.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. That's right. When I was in the Army, that was a big deal because that was another day to go drinking. So I can't drink anymore. I stay sick for days. So tomorrow is May 6th. This is May 5th. May 6th, I've got a meeting with Isaac Page, indie artist, composer. On May 11th, I've got Professor Elemental. We're going to talk about all his goofiness. If you haven't listened to him, I was kind of playing him in the beginning, but go give a listen to him. He makes you laugh, and his music makes you move your butt. And then on May 12th, Adam Wiley. Adam Wiley's going to be on my podcast, everybody.
Yay!
I mean, Shane was there before him.
See, Adam was on my podcast twice before Shane.
Oh, okay.
Shane was really part of the group.
All right, I see how it is. It's not a contest, JW. All right, fine. Game on. Game on. This is how this is going to work.
I mean, I've had people that have talked to The Rock on the actually, so have you. So never mind. Shane has The Rock on Twitter.
That's funny. All right, everybody. Wait, hold on. JW's got something.
I have one more thing.
What's the thing?
Speaking of Instagram, something really cool happened last week. Didn't get a follow or anything, but I saw Gabriel Iglesias were sharing these little memes that people were making.
Was this when he was asleep in his garage in front of all of his Volkswagen buses, like yes, reclined in the chair?
Yes. So, and then I decided to make a meme. I was like, well, he won't share it. I was thinking he won't share it. He probably won't share it. He shared it like almost instantly, like 30 minutes later. So that's awesome.
That is freaking awesome. I think I saw that and I was like, because I was kind of confused. I didn't know you had made it.
Yeah.
But that was so funny. That was so funny. Well, JW, this has been a ton of fun. And I'm sure within the next couple of months, you're going to have so much more to talk about. So let's end this on a positive note. Let's end it with some helpful advice. What is your helpful advice to anybody that wants to get started? And let's just put it out there as wants to get started at doing anything.
Just go for it. Just like go for the pod. If you want to have a podcast, go for it. Make sure you have a good support team. So.
All right. My bit of advice is I'm going to say the same thing, but I'm going to add to it. If you feel like you've got something that you need to do, or you want to do it, whatever your faith or denomination may be, sleep on it, pray on it, get the answers that you're looking for, and everything will work out in the end. So if you want to be a podcaster and you don't know, pray on it. You'll get the answers in one form or another. So it's always there. Dude, it's nice to talk to you. Maybe you'll be on golfing tonight and you can lose. That'll be awesome.
Possibly. I don't know.
What everybody doesn't realize is that most of our friends are in California and JW is on the opposite side of the country.
Yep.
So what may be 12 o'clock here is 3 o'clock there. Two. Yeah, because you're central somehow. Yeah, so sometimes JW would be sitting there and I know when he's about to crash out because you just hear slow, heavy and we're like, JW, you need to go to bed. What? No, I'm awake. Yeah.
That's only happened twice.
if you say so. It was more than that, but whatever. No, I get it. The fact that you make time to come hang out with us is, I think that's awesome. But it's always good to talk to you. I'm proud of your success. You're doing a great job. 50 guests is nothing to sneeze at. I'm sorry I told about Nathan Hurd. But yeah, great advice. I keep up the hustle, keep up the good work. And remember, you've always got people to fall back on and ask questions to. So until then, everybody, bye.
Bye.
Bye.